For a while, there was one guy on Twitter, or as we call it nowadays, X, who was saying there's a vast conspiracy of blue check bots, verified accounts with big money behind them, influencing and perhaps even orchestrating conversations online about entertainment. One guy out in the wilderness and nobody would listen. But folks, we're here to tell you that Master of the TDS has found the audience because he found the bots. And yet again, we're here to bust some bots because it turns out that Star Wars Outlaws appears to be benefiting from a bot army. We'll explain it all right now. Hello folks, welcome back to the Pro Channel where we explain entertainment and keep you ahead of that culture curve. We believe entertainment matters. We believe that it tells you what the general society believes. So even when you disagree with the outcome of elections or you think that something is not going right in your community, you can find out what people are actually enjoying by checking out the box office numbers, ratings on streaming, and all that sort of stuff. Something else you can tell is when you go to online social media issues and you start to see, hey, all the excitement surrounding this game is coming from, well, seems to be bots, then that's a big warning sign. And yet again, it appears that Star Wars is benefiting from said bots. Now, do we know that Disney is buying the bots? Do we know that Disney is using the bots? No, we have no knowledge of that whatsoever. We don't know who is funding this, but we know that it's real fun to find out, and we know it's fun to find where the bots are going and what they're trying to do, manipulating social media. Folks, if this is a little bit deep, hang tight. You want to watch this video, I promise you. I'm going to bring on a panel of experts to talk about it, and we'll do that right now. It is out of thatparkplace.com, and it is heavily leaning on the reporting of a friend of the channel. Don't know if he's out there in the chat right now, but Master of the TDS, and I see also Latino Slant, Polly out there in the chat. Hello, Polly. Hope you are having a great time at CinemaCon. But Master of the TDS, the source of the information here on this article. Folks, let's dive into it right now. This by John Trent. Who's that? Social media analyst accuses Lucasfilm and Disney of using bots to promote Ubisoft's upcoming Star Wars Outlaws game. Social media analyst Master of the TDS accused Lucasfilm Games and Walt Disney Company of using bots to promote the upcoming Ubisoft game Star Wars Outlaws. Master of the TDS posted to X, Ubisoft has teased a new story trailer and will be dropping tomorrow, April 9th, for their upcoming Star Wars game, Star Wars Outlaws. The game is said to be set in a gritty underworld setting, deviating from traditional Jedi-focused Star Wars stories. He continued, however, it would seem Disney and Lucasfilm might not be too confident in the game as the bots are out in force running interference for the game. The bots seem to be claiming that enhanced graphics and NVIDIA's advanced AI technology will make the game worth playing. Will the force be strong with this one? And as always, Master of the TDS with the delivery of receipts. Folks, hope you can see that well. But there's a tremendous number of images. We'll go straight to the tweet and see if we can pull this up so that you all can see it. Here we go, folks. Take a look at this. This is the full list of what Master of the TDS has found. Let's read some of these real quick. Remember, they're blue check marks. And remember that Elon Musk has been trying to tamp down.
Not all of them. There's a lot, but not all of them.
Right. But remember too that for maximum visibility, these blue checks may be paying the highest amount for the highest level of Twitter access. That's the one that gives you Grok and some other things. And so there may be a lot of money going into these efforts. We've got one that says Ubisoft Star Wars Outlaws launches with NVIDIA's DLSS 3 and RTX. We got another one that says, wow, that's going to be epic. Can't wait to experience the next level of graphics and AI in Star Wars Outlaws. Next one. That's going to make the game even more immersive and visually stunning. Can't wait to check it out. Next one. Acknowledge Star Wars Outlaws with NVIDIA's DLSS 3 and RTX. Now that is great. Acknowledge Star Wars Outlaws with NVIDIA's DLSS 3 and RTX. It's
like, almost a command prompt, right?
Or something that was handed to somebody in Bangladesh, saying, here's what you need to put in it. Confirming NVIDIA's AI features in Ubisoft Star Wars Outlaws during launch. You get the idea. It's just nonstop.
There might be something to that. We just had the report from Amazon, their stores that they were using that was supposedly going to be run on AI technology was actually being run out of with 1,000 people from India using camera footage. Did you see that?
Well, I'm just happy that the scammers have found at least something that's slightly more productive in their lives, but not very much more productive in their lives. So congratulations, scammers. Oh man, so let's talk about this idea that Star Wars is doing this, guys. Now, we here on this channel, we're not claiming that it's Star Wars. Neither is the website. We're not claiming that it's Lucasfilm. We're not claiming that it's Disney. It is just that this seems to be connected often with these entities. And that's what, of course, we can also see in more parts of the article. Folks, we recommend you go to thatparkplace.com and read the article. You can see Star Wars Outlaws. The actual account says the galaxy is full of opportunity. Star Wars Outlaws is launching with performance multiplying NVIDIA DLSS 3, ray tracing and reflex, and streaming soon via GeForce Now. Seems like the main account is right in line with what the bots are saying. But folks, again, we're not making any claims. We're just reporting the news. Panel, your thoughts?
Yeah, this is fascinating to me. Obviously, getting someone to respond to you on Twitter boosts up your ranking in the algorithm. Getting someone with a verified account to respond to you in the algorithm is an even greater boost. Of course, there's also of note that if you have a blue check mark, you can opt to hide that blue check mark. We have seen certain posts that were not with blue check marks that were long enough that they had to be made by a verified account. And of course, all you have to do to be verified on Twitter at this point is to have a credit card on file. Sometimes it can take a little bit of extra time, but it is not. It's apparently not as difficult as Elon Musk would like it to be to create an account that does these kind of, we'll say, low effort posts. It seems like it's high effort on the consolidation, but low effort on the individual posts here. Also, ray tracing, reflex, and NVIDIA DLSS 3 are probably not going to be the selling points on these games. I hope the graphics are good, but this game currently has an uphill battle in the current environment as it came out with a female version of Han Solo. I don't care the gender of the main character, but in the current environment, I think they might be served well to have a Dash Rendar or a Han Solo here in the lead, and also have a strong female character. And that what is it? It's not quite a battle droid. It's that second version of battle droid. Lauren Connor would correct me immediately with a coat. I'm wanting more out of this game as an OG Star Wars fan.
Yeah,
I think when you have to deploy the bots, things are not going well. Vash?
You might have some people benchmark their systems, or you might see some graphs out there in the wild, highlighting how this can actually use your NVIDIA GPU. But outside of that, I like Jonas said, I don't see this as big selling points. And from what we've heard about this game internally, there is definitely a reason to give gamers pause before purchasing. That's for sure.
Now, one question I have for the panel, and you guys tell me what you think about this. One of the issues for gaming is that they have an Achilles heel. And that Achilles heel is that with their online connectivity and the modern live service structure, combined with their use of Steam, we can view the number of players playing any given game at any given time. And that really has put them under a microscope they don't like. Just in the same way, by the way, that Disney doesn't want to put Star Wars in theaters because then we'll all be able to look at their box office score. And they can kind of obfuscate the Disney Plus numbers to some degree. But I wonder if they're already, if somebody somewhere is already deploying bots to try to make it look like there's more interest in something on Twitter, what is going to stop them from deploying bots to drive up their concurrent player numbers so that it looks like there's more live humans playing the game when maybe there's not? Worth thinking about. What do you guys think about that one?
It's definitely possible. I don't think we've seen any evidence of that so far. I mean, you can just look at Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. It had, 13,000 concurrent at its peak when it came out in the beginning of February. And I think when they released the DLC with the Joker, it got up to maybe a little over 3,000. But it has since, I don't know, I haven't looked at it recently.
It seems honest right now, John. That's why I'm wondering. Yeah.
I mean, it's possible, but again, like I said, I think you're right. I mean, it's possible that they could do something like that, but right now we're not seeing any. I don't think there's really any evidence of that right now.
Yeah, and then also go ahead.
Obviously, there is also a distinction too. Obviously, we're only really able to see kind of what people are playing on Steam. and through the Steam charts and stuff. We don't really see what people are doing with their consoles and things like that right now. So obviously, companies like Ubisoft can see that when they have like the connectivity and everything. When you're playing Assassin's Creed or whatever, and you have to be online or whatever, and they can track that and have all that account and stuff like that. But for the most part, we don't really see a lot of that stuff. And then as far as sales, I don't really think it usually has to be on them to release that stuff. I know there's some European charts and things like that we get coverage from, but usually it's still behind like a paywall, like a Nielsen type data firm that's tracking a lot of that stuff, and it's usually behind a paywall. But we have some coverage of it where they'll like give you like the top 10 lists and things like that. But usually a lot of times we'll see from the companies themselves telling us whether their sales were good or bad. And sometimes they'll give us numbers, and a lot of times we'll get social media posts. Like Alan Wake 2 is another game from Remedy Entertainment that just came out. We do know that it probably sold around like 1.3 million copies, and that's from Remedy in some of their financial reportings and things like that. So we do get to see some of that transparency on that front. But as far as bots playing games, I mean, it's possible. I guess it just depends on what the cost efficiencies are in how many sales you can actually generate by making people believe that there's a bunch more people playing the game than there is.
Yeah, or they're gonna be mad and try to take it down where you can't see how many concurrent players there are, because again, it's a major PR black eye. That's what we're watching with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. The DLC has failed. The DLC is DEI, and it's DIEing, and they don't want you to know that. And I look at these wokesters, right? These postmodern, whatever you want to call them. And I don't see them wanting transparency in anything that they do. So that's why I look at it and say, well, how long until they're trying to trick us in other ways?
No, we saw this with the comic book industry. I mean, you used to get reporting from Diamond, at least, on how many comics were shipped to comic book stores, and that's pretty much just been absolutely annihilated post-COVID, given the fact that both Marvel and DC changed the distributor that they use. So you don't really get to see any kind of sales data on how many, even how many comics that those two big companies have shipped. They're obviously trying to obfuscate their sales. And then you see a lot of the access media types usually trying to claim that the comic industry is doing great when it's just absolutely dominated by Japanese manga and Shonen Jump. And they're like, oh, well, and it's like, no one is really talking about manga when they're saying comics. They're clearly talking about Western comics, and you're just trying to obfuscate by piling in manga now to those comic book sales.
And folks, we have come to the end of our journey. Yet again, excellence, pure excellence. And why? Well, because you were here with us. Thank you for elevating the experience. On the way out the door, folks, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms, it's the notification bell, drop a comment down below, and you know what? Share this out on social media so that people know that it's not always real people fighting back and arguing with them. That's a handy thing to take with you in your day-to-day. Folks, on your day-to-day today, well, perhaps you would be encouraged by this. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and yes, keep having fun.